RRF Caserta, South Italy. News in English.
Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back. Our mission today is pretty swift and intense. We are plunging right into the high-octane world of pro sports and pop culture, all seen through the Italian media landscape this December. So if you need that quick analytical shortcut to understand the Serie A title race, coaching rivalries, and the big global sports shifts happening right now, this is the deep dive for you.
It really is. We've pulled our sources directly from the core of Italian sports journalism, Corriere dello Sport, La Gazzetta, Il Mattino, Tutto Sport. And these excerpts, they don't just report the news, they capture this snapshot of absolute intensity.
Right.
I mean, we're talking a Scudetto race so tight, it's almost unheard of going into the winter break.
Yeah.
Plus major business decisions and these critical, emotionally charged moments that are defining careers and tennis, skiing, you name it.
It really does feel like we're at some kind of inflection point where the sheer pressure, financial, emotional, competitive is what's shaping the careers we're all tracking. Let's start right there with the Italian Scudetto race. Because if you look at the Serie A table right now, after about, 14 games, the top is just ridiculous.
Ridiculous is absolutely the perfect word. You've got Milan and Napoli sitting tied, 31 points after 14 games.
Wow.
And then breathing right down their necks, just one single point behind, is Inter at 30.
So you're looking at a three-way battle where the difference between first and third could be a single bad call.
A single throw-in, a controversial penalty, exactly. That kind of parity heading towards the holiday fixtures is what makes Serie A so compelling to watch right now.
Especially when you look at the psychological weight of the upcoming matches just this weekend.
For sure. The source material highlights a few must-watch games, and they all have these massive hidden narratives. Milan is up against Sassuolo.
And there's some anxiety around that one, right? The sources picked up on something.
Yeah, bookmakers are noting that Milan is fighting against a, quote, taboo against newly promoted teams.
That phrase, the taboo, that's fascinating. Is that just superstitious chatter, or is it pointing to a real, tactical weakness?
It's rarely just superstition in top-flight football. It's usually tactical. The taboo suggests Milan struggles against teams that sit deep, defend in low blocks, and then hit them on the counter.
Okay, so they get frustrated.
They get frustrated, can't break them down, and they drop points. Which, given how tight the table is, well, it's catastrophic. Meanwhile, you've got Udinese hosting Napoli. Huge pressure on Napoli to keep pace. But their coach, Conte, he has this incredible stat on his side. He has never lost against Udinese. Ever.
That's a huge psychological boost for the players, no matter what their current form is.
Absolutely. And then you also have Bologna versus Juventus, Genoa hosting Inter, which is just loaded with personal drama we have to get to.
Before we do, we should mention the results from matches that just finished. They kind of give a flavor of the current intensity.
Right. Atalanta just squeaked by Cagliari, 2-1. And the undisputed star of that match was Gianluca Scamacca.
He must have been a completely dominant.
Oh, he was. The sources gave him a 7.5 rating, which is huge for a forward. Scored both goals, continuing this amazing run of form he's on.
So individual brilliance can still decide these tight games.
It really can. And just to note, in the lower division, Juve Stabio beat Empoli 2-0 in Serie B.
Okay, back to the top flight drama because we have to talk about the mind games. Milan's coach, Allegri, is already trying to, hide Milan's title ambitions.
Yeah, he's publicly naming Inter and Napoli as the clear favorites. It's a classic Allegri, deflection as a tactic. He wants the pressure cooker pointed anywhere but his own squad.
But is the media even buying that? I mean, isn't that kind of a subtle way of admitting you think you're the real threat?
That's the thing. It tells you everything you need to know about where Milan's confidence really is.
Speaking of high-pressure football, the source material gave us one of the most unbelievable results of the weekend. Parma versus Lazio.
Oh, this was wild. Lazio won 1-0. Noslin scored the winner. But they did it while playing with only 9 men on the field.
9 men? That's almost unheard of in modern football.
2 red cards. Zaccagni and Basic both sent off. I mean, to win with 2 men down for any length of time takes an insane level of discipline and sacrifice.
Their coach, Sarri, he wasn't exactly celebrating quietly, though. The source notes he was furious with the refereeing, calling the decisions frivolous and hasty.
He was, and his reaction, even after a win like that, it just speaks to the fine line these coaches are walking. They're all dealing with this explosive emotional energy, and one frivolous call can cost you everything.
That raw emotion is actually the perfect segue. Let's get into the coach confrontations and the high-stakes player drama.
Yeah, let's zero in on that Genoa intermatch, because it really is the emotional centerpiece of the whole weekend.
This is Genoa's coach, Daniele De Rossi, facing Inter, coached by his old teammate, Cristi Chivu.
It's such a great narrative. You know, mentorship, camaraderie, right in the middle of this fierce competition. We hear so much about bitter rivalries, but this is genuine mutual respect.
Chivu publicly exalts De Rossi, saying he was always a captain, even when they are on the same team.
And De Rossi gives it right back. He calls Chivu a top coach, someone who helps those around him grow.
In a world of, transactional contracts and quick sackings, that kind of emotional leadership and respect it's really rare. It says a lot.
It really does. But that's sort of the high point of emotional management. The sources also highlight some deep anxiety around star players, especially with winter tournaments coming up.
Right. On the global stage, Mo Salah is getting ready to leave Liverpool for the Africa Cup of Nations.
And his agent is set to talk with the club about his status, especially after some friction that's been bubbling up in the press.
The sources, though, they deliver this powerful counter-narrative to all that controversy.
They do. They note that the, quote, applause of Liverpool moved Salah recently, which hints at this really deep fan connection, kind of overwhelming any temporary contract issues.
So the bond between the player and the supporters still holds a lot of power over club politics.
It absolutely does. Meanwhile, back in Italy, Inter has a completely different and frankly much more mysterious anxiety around Denzel Dumfries.
Okay, the source material calls him a case. He's been sidelined for a whole month with no public reason.
Exactly. And that term case, that's key Italian sports jargon.
When the sources call a player a case, what does that usually imply? Is it an injury or is it something behind the scenes?
It's intentionally ambiguous. That's the whole point. It implies an internal problem that the club is actively trying to suppress information about.
And in a neck-and-neck title race, they want to project total stability.
Of course. So whether it's a long-term injury they don't want rivals to know about or a contract dispute, the silence just fuels speculation and anxiety, all driven by the fear of losing the Scudetto by 1 point.
And while the players are dealing with all that, the clubs themselves are in the middle of these huge, high-stakes financial maneuvers.
That's the bigger picture. The source highlights this massive business news with Juventus. Their holding company, Exor the Agnelli family, formally rejected an offer from Tether to buy the club.
And John Elkann's quote on it was so clear: Juve and its history are not for sale.
Just full stop. The implications are enormous. By rejecting a massive offer like that, the Agnelli family is drawing a hard line in the sand.
This isn't just business, it's about legacy.
It's a declaration that the club's history and its identity outweigh any price tag. It's a powerful counterexample to the global trend of purely profit-driven ownership.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's step outside of that 90-minute drama and into the world of individual global sports where the mental pressure is just singular. Let's talk tennis.
The focus is squarely on the Italian titans, Jannik Sinner and Matteo Berrettini. They're training together intensely in Dubai right now.
A unified front. And the bookmakers are already looking ahead to 2026.
They are. They're setting strong odds on Sinner becoming world number 1 again, expecting this massive, ongoing battle with Carlos Alcaraz.
Who, by the way, has already said the Australian Open is his great objective for 2026.
This Sinner-Alcaraz rivalry is really shaping up to be the defining dynamic of men's tennis for the next few years.
The sources also had this great little anecdote about Sinner. He was giving a lesson to a kid.
Yeah, and he told the child there was one thing he couldn't teach him, because he wasn't good at it himself. That little touch of humility, even from a champion like him, it just speaks volumes.
Shifting to a bit of controversy on the court, former world number 1 Garbine Muguruza sparked a huge reaction with a very blunt quote.
A huge reaction. She claimed that even when she was at the absolute peak of her game, world number 1, she wouldn't have beaten even a junior boy.
Wow. That is a massive, attention-grabbing statement.
It cuts right to the heart of the whole gender debate in tennis.
Was that meant as, humility, or was she trying to make a bigger point about the physical differences in the game?
I think it functions as both. It's a sobering reminder of the physical demands of the men's tour, but it's also, a provocative statement designed to get people talking.
Well, it certainly did that. Away from the court, the snow sports scene is just delivering incredible drama and these amazing feats of longevity.
Specifically in skiing, we have the ageless wonder, Lindsey Vonn, performing at a level that is just unbelievable.
Unbelievable is the right word. She's 41 years old, and she just won a downhill race in St. Moritz.
And she finished ahead of Sofia Goggia, Italy star, came in third. I mean, to win at 41, especially with her history of knee injuries, she has a titanium plate in there.
Yeah.
It's just astonishing.
But maybe the most emotionally powerful moment in all of the source material comes from the alpine skier, De Ali Prandini.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He was seen crying after his giant slalom race, and he revealed this immense personal sacrifice he'd just made.
He only raced because his girlfriend, Gassin, who's also a skier, asked him to, from her hospital bed.
Just stop and think about the weight of that for a second. To perform at that elite level, with that kind of emotional burden, the fear, the determination, all driven by a call from a hospital, it's almost impossible to comprehend.
You can't imagine the mental strength. That performance was driven purely by love and emotion, not just competition. And finally, in motorsports, we can confirm the Formula One season ended with Lando Norris winning his first ever F1 world title.
A massive breakthrough for him. He officially dethroned Verstappen, which sets the stage for a whole new era in F1.
And that's a nice connection to our final section, which is all about those blurring lines between celebrity, speed, and sport.
Right, stepping into the final wrap-up of curiosities and pop culture. The blending of these worlds is just accelerating.
And the sources confirm a massive celebrity crossover that I don't think anyone saw coming.
Not at all. We have confirmation directly from Vin Diesel that Cristiano Ronaldo will be in Fast and Furious. That says so much about the global power of top athletes. They're so famous now, they just cross right over into the biggest movie franchises.
From high-speed cars to big bikes, there's a surprising update from the U.S. motorcycle scene. The sources noted this curious cultural shift.
Yeah, that Harley-Davidson is apparently no longer the most loved motorcycle brand in America. That's a huge sign of shifting tastes.
And while sports are giving us all this immediate drama, the non-sports news is creating future chaos.
It is. The sources note that Baba Vanga's 2 terrible prophecies of 2026 are circulating widely online and causing a measurable level of alarm.
But on a more positive note for the world of running.
Yes. Sebastian Coe, the president of World Athletics, said that Rome deserves continuity and can aspire to join the major marathons. And the Run Rome of the marathon actually hit a historical record for registrations, forcing them to close it early. A massive wave of enthusiasm.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive in the pressure cooker of the Serie A title race, with Milan, Napoli, Inter all neck and neck. We move through these powerful displays of leadership, contrasting the respect between De Rossi and Chivu with the grim determination of someone like Salah.
And we finished by witnessing these incredible personal triumphs, like Lindsey Vonn defying age and an unimaginable sacrifice, like De Ali Prandini racing through tears for his girlfriend. I think the core theme across all these sources is the inseparable link between intense, fragile human emotion and world-class athletic performance. The drama off the field is what creates the biggest headlines on it.
The sources really show us a world where Juventus is, to its owners, genuinely priceless. It's not for sale. And yet, a championship-level performance in skiing might be driven purely by a desperate, tearful call from a hospital bed. This raises a big question for you to chew on. When the stakes are at their absolute highest, whether they're financial and corporate or competitive and personal, which force ultimately drives the greatest results? Money and power or raw human emotion? Something for you to chew on until our next deep dive.
RRF Caserta, South Italy. News in English.